Okay, sauce number 2, sauce Chausseur, or hunter sauce. This one should be somewhat familiar because this is a very, very similar sauce to what you made with that pork scallopini the last go round. So let's talk about the ingredients real quickly. We're going to take some butter, whole butter, salted butter, unsalted butter, whatever you have. Butter, we're going to saute and sweat down some shallots and some mushrooms. To that, after they've softened up a little bit, to that we're going to add a little bit of white wine. Then we're going to add some of the chicken demi-glace. Let that simmer for a little bit. Check the seasoning. Add in some diced tomato. Again, let that cook for just a little bit more. We will end up finishing with more of that glace de viande that we used in the first sauce. And at the very, very end, we'll add some fresh chopped tarragon. Let's go to the stove. So butter first. And we'll let that get hot and melted. Butter is there really more as a flavor item than anything else, but definitely as a fat medium. We could have used olive oil. We could have certainly used regular oil to saute the shallots and the mushrooms, but this is a very, very classic French sauce, so we're going to go with butter. Terrific. We'll go with the shallots and the mushrooms. That's going to have to sweat down for maybe a couple minutes or so, and then we'll continue to cook, of course, once we add the stock and the wine to this, but to release some of their important flavor, we'll get those going right now. To facilitate the sweating and the softening, what we can do is we can add a little bit of salt and pepper, this mixture. That's good to start. You don't want the butter to burn. As you can see, it's getting pretty hot, so let's turn that down just a tad. We'll still continue to saute or sweat. Now, I didn't slice the mushrooms. I kind of chopped the mushrooms. They would cook a little bit faster, and also they'll look a little bit better, and we'll have a lot more control over the sauce when we go to plate this dish up. So that's good. I'm going to add a little bit of white wine to this mixture. I'm going to turn that up so we want to be able to reduce that down. That looks good by itself. It smells great. I mean, shallots and mushrooms, onions and mushrooms, kind of hard to beat that combination anytime. So let's do about another, just a few more seconds, and then we're going to end up adding our chicken demi-glace. Again, same amount that we started with for the sauce bordelaise. I think that's good. We'll pour that in there. We'll give this a stir. Again, this is another illustration of once we have some really, really good building blocks, and the building blocks being a great veal stock that we turned into glace de viande, we turned it into some demi-glace. We had a really, really nice roasted chicken stock that we turned into roasted chicken demi, which is fantastic. Good flavor, good body. From there you can go in infinite possibilities. These are just 3 or 4 sauces that we're going to talk about that are, again, very, very classical in nature. And as we progress through this class for the next, oh my gosh, only 3 or 4 more class sessions, we'll talk a little bit more about other types of sauces. These are fairly traditionally French sauces. We're going to start talking about some pastes and some purees and some chutneys and a few other things. I think what I'll do right now, I will give this a quick little taste to see if we need to season a little bit more. I think maybe a little bit more salt and pepper. Not much. Now we can always add. Again, remember, this sauce did not have that cracked black pepper in it. We'll turn that down to a little low simmer. We'll let that go right there for about 2 more minutes. And when we come back, we'll show you how to finish this sauce. The chicken is just about ready to come out of the oven as well. And remember, the chicken also has salt and pepper on it as well. So we don't want anything to be too overwhelming, but we do want things to stand alone. The chicken should be able to stand alone season-wise, and the sauce should definitely be able to stand alone with regard to its seasoning. All right, so we'll be back in just a couple minutes.